Just to check if you're talking, you're on mute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So this is your Microsoft Azure Cloud. Okay, so before we go into this particular course, there are a set of things that you need to do. Okay, so the first thing is that you need to create a subscription. You need to create an account within Azure. We need to create within an account within Azure. Okay, but I want to tell you a couple of things here. Uh, Before we go into this Azure data engineering, there are a couple of things that you need to understand. One is nothing but your on-prem, and second thing is nothing but your cloud, cloud computing. Both are the two things that we need to understand. So, how many of you don't know what exactly is this particular cloud? Can you please uh, provide your comments within the chat window? How many of you still don't know what exactly is cloud? Can you please provide your comments whether you know or you don't know? Just want to have a complete idea on what you are doing here, guys. Shokmar, no idea. Then who else? Who doesn't have any idea about cloud? Okay. So the first thing that we need to understand here is we need to understand these cloud computing fundamentals. We need to understand what this Azure cloud is and what are the different types of clouds that you're having in the IT industry and why do we go with Azure. So Azure comes up with a lot of so many services. Okay, but out of those 200 plus or 250 plus services, what we are having, we'll be focusing mostly on the data services that are provided by Azure, the data services that are provided by Azure. So that's the reason what we have to do is that in this session, and so tomorrow you don't have a class, but you'll be having the class on Wednesday onwards. Okay. In this particular session, what we'll be doing is we'll be focusing on the cloud computing concepts, making sure that you get a good understanding of what this cloud is going to be, so that once you are comfortable, what we do is that we'll start focusing on the rest of the things here. Okay, so let me do one thing here. Earlier, right now we have cloud, but before that one, we are having something like on-premise. On-premise means the your company, the company will be having a data center, okay, which you will be able to access everything on your own. That is what is your on-premise. Now, what we are having is that we are having something like cloud computing that has come into the market 2 decades ago. Okay. Now, here before this cloud, what we are having is that assuming that you are having something like online shopping app is there here. Okay. So in online shopping market, what happens is generally during normal days, you don't have that much business. But during peak days like weekends, festivals, or something of the sort, you'll be having so much business that exists. So much business that exists. So much business that exists. Okay. So like websites like Amazon, Flipkart, Netflix, and all those particular things, whenever they need to do that much business, they need to have so much compute capacity. They need to have so much compute capacity, as well as they need to have more processors or more computers that are really required to process your data. So that's the reason what we can say is that peak usage during holidays and weekends, and then less load during the rest of the time. Less load during the rest of the time. Okay. So here, what is the disadvantage in this fashion? Can anybody tell me what is the disadvantage? What are the limitations in this particular scenario? Can anybody tell me if you are having less utilization during some time and then peak utilization during sometimes? What is the advantage or disadvantage? Can anybody tell me?
Okay.
Snehita, can you
Uh,
tell me? Nikhil, మీరు చెప్పండి.
I can tell you with an example. Like Amazon uses the AWS. Amazon does the Great India Sale. Like over at that time, it need like more server and more database. So over at that time, it need like more cloud usage, and remaining
Hmm.
time there was no need. So whatever they need and they can use, and whatever they don't need, they cannot. There is no need to use. Like so I have in a project. I have a thing like let's say like I have like an project. I need like an around 1,000 gigabytes, but I was using only like 200 gigabytes. Like but unnecessarily I was paying like an paying for remaining 800 gigabytes. So if I move to this one, so that's gonna be like cost cutting and everything, and even the server won't get that much load. Sometimes,
That means that much of the time, what is happening is that you are not utilizing the resources, and resources
mm,
stay idle, right?
yeah,
Resources
sometimes
stay
there will
idle.
be like
So,
lots of server usage. Sometimes
yeah,
sometimes only the cloud usage will be there. Sometimes only there will be an
yeah,
like server. Like depending on that, we can switch it out.
yeah. So here, what happens is, let me tell you one thing. Uh, you have taken a business, and business runs for the business is a seasonal business. Okay, but most of the time when there is no business or when there is poor business, what happens is that much of your investment goes for a waste. So here also what happens is that even because since the load is less here, we can't purchase a very less software, right? Very less infrastructure. What we have to do, we have to anticipate that in the future more business is going to come, so we need to spend so much amount of money for procuring these things here, for procuring these things. So in such a case, what happens is that you need to buy this infrastructure for keeping this peak loads. We need to buy this infrastructure. Okay, but what happens is uh, when you are going to have something like during periods of low loads, when you're having very low loads that exist, the infrastructure what you're having here will be wasted, right? Will be the wastage of money that you're going to spend here. This is the one thing. Now, second thing, before the cloud, uh, suppose you have purchased suppose you have purchased a infrastructure or your computers or something you purchase, and what happens is that the business is running very minimal for 2 years, and suddenly there is a huge demand for those products what you are having. Then in such a case, what happens? You will not be able to accommodate this peak of load here. You will not be able to accommodate this piece of load here. So that means that ఇప్పుడు see, you are in 2016. Okay, now we are talking about 2018. Till 2018, we don't know whether the business will increase or not. But here in 2016 itself, I cannot spend the whole amount expecting that business will come in 2018, right? Because in 2016 and 2017, there is a low value of the business. So much of the investment will be a dead investment, right? Much of the investment will be a dead investment. Okay. So that is the reason what we have to do is that is the reason what we have to do is that we have to go into the third one before the cloud. High cost of procuring this infrastructure. Snehita, are you following? Shruti, Snehita, are you ladies following? High cost of procuring this infrastructure needs ahead of the time planning. The third thing is that low infrastructure utilization, right? Your infrastructure utilization is not consistent. Can somebody tell me what is this infrastructure that we are talking here? What is this infrastructure?
Like the servers that need to save data and
Yeah, the servers, the storage, the memory, the hardware, the networking, and all those things what we are talking here, these are all the infrastructure that we are talking about here. And one more thing is that dedicated infrastructure maintenance team. And in order to maintain that infrastructure, you need an infrastructure systems administrator that you need to have. But a startup cannot afford to maintain all this infrastructure, right? So these are all the challenges what we have when you're trying to go for these cloud challenges here in this case. These are all
So
the
cloud, you don't need a maintenance and support team.
cloud. We don't see. This is the thing that when you are having an on-premise, and
Yeah.
when you are installing systems in your office, in your own data center, where you need to maintain everything, you have to take care of everything. Okay. But when we go to the cloud, what happens is that what we need for cloud is that we need only two things. We need an internet and we need a computer to connect to the cloud. There is no need for you to buy those servers. There is no need for you to buy that network, computers, storage, memory, RAM, nothing has to be purchased, even databases, software licenses, everything there is no need for you to purchase. First of all, Shruti, there is no need for you to own them because you can lease them. Shruti, my question is owning better or leasing better?
Lease.
Why
Renting,
lease is
right?
better?
Renting, right? Rent.
Yeah, leasing is nothing but renting. Why renting is better and why owning is not better? Can anybody tell me?
One mean you have to maintain.
You
Lease,
have to maintain.
rent mean you have.
There is a lot of cost that you need to spend, right? When you are there is a lot of cost that you need to spend when you are purchasing them, when you are the owner of those things. But when you go to when you go to what we can say, when you go to lease them, what you do is that you pay only for those resources that you are leasing for that month. For example, you can take a rental car or you can purchase a car. Purchasing a car might cost around 15 lakh rupees, but renting a car for that period of time might cost around something like 40,000 or 50,000 rupees it costs. There is a difference. So you have to understand which one you have to really look into in order to make this one to happen. In order to make this one to happen, you need to understand. So that's why when you're going to have the infrastructure on-premise, you need to spend a lot. But when you go to cloud, you don't need to purchase these things. You don't need to be the owner for these things. What you can do is that you can become a renter and then lease these things. So that's the reason before the cloud, you have all these particular challenges. Now, what is the cloud advantage that you're having here? Capital expenditure. Capital expenditure means 1 minute. Okay. So cloud, what are the advantages that you're having here? In cloud, there is a capital expenditure plus variable expenditure. Let me tell you two things here. Capital expenditure means the initial cost that you need to spend for procuring all those servers is nothing but your capital expenditure. Okay. So in the cloud, since you are not going to purchase them, since you are going to lease them, what happens is that there won't be any capital expenditure. But what will be there is that there will be an operational expenditure, or else there will be a variable expenditure that you need to pay for renting them, for leasing them. Okay, so that is what we need to do here. So that's why when you start moving to cloud, what happens is there won't be any capital expenditure, but there will be operational expenditure that is called as OPEX. Operational expenditure or variable expenditure that you need to use. Okay. Now, one more thing is that benefits from massive amounts of, see, stop guessing capacity. This is very important. What is this stop guessing capacity? For example, you purchased a computer with 50 GB of, 125 or 250 GB of hard disk. Okay. Now, but you are running out of space very soon in the first 5 months. Then what you have to do? You need to buy a flash drive, or else you need to increase your storage, something of the sort. You have to do it. Okay. But here, in the case of cloud, there is no need for you to guess how much you want to use. There is no need for you to guess how much you want to use. Suppose this is something like prepaid mobile and postpaid mobile. So in the prepaid mobile, what happens? You pay for initially how much you want to use, and as soon as that is done, again you need to purchase. But in the case of postpaid, what happens is that you use it how much you want to use, and finally you will get the bill. That is the thing here. There is no need for you to guess about how much is the capacity that we need to use. Instead, what you do is that you will start utilizing something. Suppose go back to this diagram here. When you go back to this diagram here, in this particular thing, what I'm specifying here, do you need a very high infrastructure, or else you need very low infrastructure, Simati? This piece. This piece, we need a very low infrastructure or very high infrastructure. Can anybody tell?
What is the question?
The question is, this is the piece that has been highlighted here, right?
Uh-huh.
Here we need more infrastructure or less infrastructure, this piece.
Less.
Yeah, standard infrastructure, right? Less mean the
This is
constant
the standard
infrastructure. No
infrastructure that we
increase.
want.
No
But here,
increase. Mhm. That
but
is
this piece,
sudden increase. Sudden increase. Yeah.
sudden increase, we need more infrastructure, right?
Yes.
So in the case of cloud, what happens is that if your processing load is less, you can go with very less infrastructure. But in case if your processing load increases, you can automatically increase that infrastructure automatically. Okay, so that means that what happens is there is no need for you to guess how much is the initial capacity that is required. There is no need for you to guess. So everything, whatever you want, will be provided automatically. If you need more, it will be provided automatically. If you need less, depending on your load, it will be provided automatically less. Okay, so that's the reason what we do is that one important feature that we do is that we need to stop guessing capacity. Then one more thing that what we need to do is that stop spending money running and maintaining data centers. We don't need anything. Okay, so it is something like this. You are having a marriage that is happening. You have to manage everything, all the things that you need to do, like inviting guests, all the things, clothes, everything, what you have to purchase, everything. But if you try to give it to an event company, what happens? Event company, what happens is that they will try to maintain everything. The only thing is that you need to pay the cost, how much is really required. So here, I'm not going to spend time, money, and effort on any of these particular data centers. But what really happens is I'll be able to spend money only on the things that are really required. And one more thing is that you have an application, okay, you have an application that you want to launch. Suppose you want to launch a website, okay. So, and then you want to have that particular website to be available in Australia, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and all those particular places. I want to make that application available to all the people around the globe. So, in such a case, I want to globalize that particular application. Okay. So when I want to do such type of globalizing that particular application, I can have the option of doing that one within a few minutes itself. Few minutes itself. So this is what really happens with respect to the cloud. This is what really happens with respect to the cloud advantages and disadvantages here. Understood? Can anybody tell me why should we go for cloud and what are the advantages that we are going to get with respect to the cloud? What are the advantages and disadvantages?
So like one is like an cost cutting, easy accessible, and no need to worry about the servers and those things, and even the security issues and manpower cutting and maintenance cutting and everything. And disadvantage, sometimes there will be like server issues and accessing issues, and like it's very rare that like server issues, and if the cloud get hacked, the everything gonna be get into trouble.
Yeah. So that's the reason we want to move on to the cloud. Okay. While we are trying to move on to the cloud, there are so many types of cloud service providers within the industry. Can somebody tell me what are all the different cloud service providers what we are having here?
AWS, GCP, Azure,
We have GCP, we have
IBM.
Azure, and then we have AWS, right? AWS, Amazon Web Services is also there.
Yes.
Amazon Web Services that you're having here. So there are so many things, but what we are interested is we are only interested in the major players. One is Azure, the second one is AWS, and third one is Google. Okay, but here we are very much interested in this Azure platform. So what is the Azure platform here? One is nothing but it is one of the leading cloud service providers. That is the first thing. And second thing is that it provides 200 plus services. 200 plus services that it will provide. Third one is it is reliable. All the things that we'll see here. So that's why this is your Microsoft Azure platform that we are going to see here. Okay. So how do you know that this is this Microsoft Azure platform? When you go into this place, I'll show you here. 1 minute, let me show you here. When you go to this place, portal.azure.com, so 1 minute. Here, when you go to this portal.azure.com, what you're having is when you try to go to this particular all services, what are the services that you're seeing on the left hand side? Can anybody tell me what are the services that you're seeing on the left hand side? What are the services that you can having on the left hand side?
Compute, containers, databases,
AI
DevOps.
plus machine learning is there, right?
Yes.
AI plus machine learning is there, analytics is there, compute is there, DevOps is there, integration is there, IoTs is there, migration is there, monitoring, security, web and mobile. These are all the different types of services that you are having here. So that's why Azure Cloud, what you are talking here, Azure Cloud, what you are talking here is not a is not a platform for only for certain set of people. It is a platform for multiple applications. If you are a database developer, you can use this Azure for developing your very good productive databases. If you are a DevOps guy, you can use this one for developing your containers and all those particular things. If you're an application guy, you can use those applications for developing your C Sharp, .NET scripting languages and all those things that you can do. If you are a migration specialist, you can use. If you want to connect with respect to IoT devices and all, you need to do all these particular things here. So that means that Azure is a specific purpose cloud or a general purpose cloud? Guys, please tell me. Is
General.
Azure a specific purpose cloud
Gen-
or general purpose cloud?
yeah, general.
Azure is a general purpose cloud. So how many services it is having here? It is having almost 200 plus services that you're having here. 200 plus services that you're having here. So that's the reason I have told you this Azure, what you're having here is provides 200 plus services and it is very cost effective. So here what you're having is that cloud applications make use of this multiple Azure services, what we are discussing so far. And then there is no single part to learn honestly, but we need to understand this one here. So first thing is that we need to create an Azure account. Okay. So that is the first thing everyone has to do. Okay. In case if everyone is everybody in the WhatsApp group or is everybody in the WhatsApp group or not? I don't know. Okay. Please make sure that you guys are there within the WhatsApp group so that I'll start sending you the link in order to create your Azure account. Okay. So this particular Azure account comes only for 1 month free. Okay. They'll give you an amount of $200. They'll give you an amount of $200. And within this $200, what you have to do is that you have to use that one. But after that one, what happens is that you need to convert your free trial into pay account. That means that is treated as a pay as you go subscription. Pay as you go subscription means what happens is that every service that you are going to use will be charged. Every service what you are going to use will be charged. So that's the reason what we have to do is that we have to convert your free trial account into pay as you go subscription. Pay as you go subscription. That is something that we have to do here in this case. So I'll tell you the steps next week. Tomorrow I'll send you the steps to create this particular account. Make sure that you create this particular account here. Then we need to talk about this regions and zones. So when we try to talk about these regions and zones, first of all, we need to understand what is a data center. Can anybody tell me what is a data center based on your knowledge, what you have? What is a data center?
It's a server, right? Collection of server or server room.
Data center is nothing but a collection of servers. Yes. How many servers you will have in the data center? 1, 10, 20, 30, 100 or anybody? How many?
It's many, right? There are not
Thousands of
limitation.
servers will be there, and those collection of interconnected servers is basically treated as a data center. So when you have these data centers on premise, we have to make sure that those servers are maintained, those servers are patched, those servers are upgraded, and in case if the server crashes, you need to purchase a new server. All these particular things that we have to do. All these particular things that we have to do. So what is the definition of the data center here? A facility used to house an organization's IT operations and equipment that is treated as a data center. That is treated as a data center. Then now all these servers need to be managed. Now the thing is that here, imagine that your application is deployed in a data center in London. అంటే ఒక సర్వర్ అనేది ఉంది. In one server you have your application that is installed, and then that has been there within this data center. So what are the drawbacks when you try to do that one? Can anybody tell me what are the drawbacks that when anybody try to do that one?
If internet is down, you cannot.
If the internet is down, you will not be able to access. But suppose if that data center is having some fire accident, something of the sort, what happens?
Say that again.
If the
Fire?
data center is having some fire accident or something that is happening, okay, tornado or some flooding is happening in that one, what will happen?
Without any notice, we'll lose our data and
It does lose our data, right?
hard to recover.
Hard to recover. Hard to recover. So what happens here? What happens if your data center crashes? That means that your application will go down, and then it will not be available at all. It will not be available at all. Okay. So in such a case, what would be the other alternative that we need to have? I want to have my application to be continuously available round the clock for any number of users in any region. It should be available. So what should I do for that one? You tell me, guys.
Backup resources.
I need to have a backup mechanism that should be there, right? Backups.
Yes.
I need to have a backup that should exist. So what is that particular backup here? The backup is something like instead of having this data center that I'm having here, I can have another data center so that I can maintain the copy of this application here. Okay. So that means that if this data center crashes, then I'll have this data center to be used for your running of applications. The data center can be used for the running of those particular applications. So that's the reason what we do is that we prefer to use that data center for your all your activities in this case. All your activities in this case. So that's why when we try to add another data center, that is the thing that we can try to do.
So
Okay.
you have a clone of two same data will be in two data center.
Of course, yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So two different geographical locations.
Two different locations in the
Yes.
same city or in the same country. Yeah.
Different geographical location. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now, ఇప్పుడు what happens? See, ఇప్పుడు if this application crashes, then you have this one. Now, what happens if that entire region is not available? There might be a case that where entire region is not available. Then what happens? You tell me.
The application is gonna get down.
The application will go down. The application will be down altogether. So in such a case, what we do is that we can try to have the copy of that application in some other country, maybe in India, maybe in US, maybe in Dubai, maybe in Bahrain, maybe in so many places, we can try to keep that one. We can try to keep this one. So in such a case, what happens is that I'll try to create one more data center in Mumbai region here. So now it's not that all your problems are solved here, Snehita. You tell me. Don't you think that all your problems are solved now, Snehita? Snehita or Sarita garu or anybody for that matter. So here what happens is that when you try to have these multiple data centers, you'll have these things here. Slow access to the users from other parts of the world, but you can add by adding deployments for your applications in other regions. The second thing what you can do is that even though if this data center crashes, you can still start using this another data center. That is the second thing. Third thing is that even though if the entire region is London is not available, you can start using this Mumbai service. You can start using this Mumbai service also. This is the same thing that you want to do here. So that's the reason what happens is that regions means setting up the data centers in different regions around the world. So the main purpose of cloud computing is you are not localized to only one location. You are not localized to one country. You are not localized to one city, but you have your global presence in each and every region. You are having your global presence in each and every region. So that means that Azure provides 60 regions around the world, 60 plus regions, and they're expanding every year. They're expanding every year. Then region means a specific geographical location to host your resources. That is what is your region here. Okay. Now high availability, because even though if when one application is done in one place, you can have that application that can be available in other data centers also as well. The next one is that low latency. What is this low latency here? You can be able to, since the application is widespread, Dubai people can access that one in Dubai locations. Dubai locations can capture these people in Dubai locations, whereas your US people can access that US location. That's why it is low latency. That means that low delay in accessing the application, and then global footprint, because since your applications are spread widespread across the globe, that's the reason what happens is that you will be having a global presence across the globe. And fourth thing what you're having is that you can adhere to this government regulations. Suppose if I'm in US, I need to be bounded to the US norms. Suppose if I'm in some other place, I need to be bounded to something else also as well. That means that in whichever country I am, in whichever country I am in, I would like to use those. I would like to use those locations, okay, for the purpose of following those country regulations and all. For the purpose of following those country regulations and all. So that's the reason. What I say is that we need to make sure that we are following those government regulations. So these are all the regions that we are having here in this case. These are all the regions.
What does a low latency mean? Quick.
Low latency means less delay in accessing the resources.
Quick, yeah.
Less delay. అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఐఎమ్ ఇన్ యుఎస్. Okay, if the server is in Australia, do you think that I'll be able to access the data at a very faster rate? I'll not be able to do that one, right?
That's right.
So
nearby
I will be able to access these resources only in the closest proximity where I'm staying, right? So that's the reason what we do is that we prefer to access these things to the nearby locations. That's the reason we try to do these particular things here in this case. We try to do these particular things here in this case. So that's the reason what we want to do is that we want to make sure we use this presence in order to get these particular points in time. So that's the reason what we want to do is that our Azure is a global cloud service provider that supports 200 plus services that will help us to cater the needs of all the different set of people, be it with the developers, analysts, all those people that we need to do here. Okay, so what we'll be doing is that in the next class we will be. Are you all following my speed, or is it slow, or what? What is your feedback, guys? Sai, Satgaru, Shivkumar, Snehita, all those people. Shabari,
Yeah, you're good. You're showing regions, right? That's us.
Rahul, yeah. Nikhil, are you following? Nikhil, okay. So what we do is that we will follow this one and make sure that we try to understand these cloud concepts in the next class, that is on Wednesday. And then I'll send you the link for the purpose of creating this Azure free trial account. You create that one so that for the first 2-3 days, we'll make sure that we get all these cloud computing concepts. Make sure that you are comfortable with respect to this portal. What is that portal that I'm talking about? This Azure portal, you are comfortable with once you are comfortable with these particular things, then what we do is that we will start working on the data engineering services, and then we'll slowly get into these particular things. Okay, any questions you are having here, please let me know for today, because since this is the first class and not many people has come, I just don't want to burden with you so many things, but slowly we'll be getting together into these particular things, and then we go from there. Okay, please let me know.
So I have a small doubt.
Yeah,
Uh, so first 30 days, this is gonna be like in a free trial. So later it's automatically gonna convert it into the
no,
purchase
you
account.
need to put a credit card.
Yeah, that's what. Like it's automatically gets. Like I wanna know it's not about the budget. Like we need to think about everyone. So I wanna say one thing, like this account is only for the training, or do we get anything from this account? Like
Okay, which account?
sorry,
Which account you are talking?
like the Azure account, like we need to create an account.
Yes, we need to create an account. Yes.
Okay, that's for just for training purpose, or like
Yeah, we just want to use it for practice, and for the training purpose only we have to use that one, right? Yes.
okay, then okay. Uh, if we buy an account, so how many people can we access? I'm not talking about regarding of my one, like I'm talking about entire group, so that it's gonna be useful for everyone. If we buy like, and we are almost like 9 people, and if we buy 2 accounts, like how many people can access at a time? We don't know whether at what time we gonna
Any
use it.
people can access, but generally what happens is that you create something and you give the credentials to so many people. What generally happens is you will be asked to provide an OTP, and within that
Mm,
OTP, what you will be doing is that you will be doing this one. Suppose you have created an application today, and then tomorrow, if you want to refer that one, okay,
mm,
someone else might have used the same account and then they have deleted that one. What will you do?
mm. Okay, in that case, we can do like multiple projects. So we can also it's that like the Azure, we can make it like as in a multiple project account.
Ideally speaking, it is better to have a separate subscription for every person who is
Mm,
trying to use.
okay.
Okay, but in case if you guys want to use the same account and then start doing that one, that should be the understanding between you people in order to how you want to take it further. You understand what I'm
Mm,
saying?
mm.
That's how it works.
So, okay. You
If
can
you
keep creating a new email ID and create this Azure account, right?
yes,
Yeah, that's the easiest way, correct?
yes.
Okay. If it all cost how much? It says 0.8 cent or what is this?
No, no, this
Azure.
is the account which I have been using here. This is the
Okay.
account what I'm using here. So for my services from February 1st to February 11th, I have used this much amount of charges. That's what it is telling.
Oh, okay. And you put a credit card mean how much they will charge?
How much you use, that much they'll charge.
Oh, how much we are using, that much they will charge. Okay, got
Yeah.
it. Then it won't much, right? We are not going to GB data.
No, no,
So,
no. It is very less only. It is
yeah.
very less.
Okay. Okay, are
Very
you going to
less
send to
only.
this one, sir? Are you going to
Huh?
are you going to send this detail how to create an account or
Yes, I'll be sending you tomorrow. I'll send you tomorrow. Okay.
okay? So no class tomorrow.
No class tomorrow. The next class will be on Wednesday, same time.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
So we can
so
text you in the group,
may,
right? Like if we get any
Yes, of
doubts
course. You
in
can
the
text
while
me in the group
creating the.
anytime. Yes.
Okay.
So for
so
India people, it will be on Thursday morning.
It will be on Thursday morning. అవునండి.
మీ పేరు చెప్తారా అండి సో ఫర్దర్ కన్వర్సేషన్ కోసం
నా పేరా
Yeah.
రవి.
ఓకే అండ్ వన్ మోర్ థింగ్ ఇస్ ఇది ఫాస్ట్ ట్రాక్ బ్యాచ్ అని చెప్పారు సో ఎన్ని క్లాసెస్ ఉంటాయి ఏమేమి కవర్ అవుతాయి అదేమని చెప్తారా
నేను అన్ని మీరు వస్తారు కదా వెడ్నెస్డే వస్తారు కదా మీరు
యా
వెడ్నెస్డే
సాయి ఒకసారి మన నెంబర్ కి వాట్సాప్ చేయండి, నేను మీకు కోర్స్ కంటెంట్ పంపిస్తాను.
ఓకే
5 weeks కోర్స్ కంటెంట్
యా యా ఓకే అండి
నేను చాట్ లో పెడుతున్నా మన నెంబర్, అడ్మిన్
ఓకే
నెంబర్.
యా యా షూర్ షూర్ And if I'm not wrong, like if everyone is Telugu speaking people, then I think it's better to continue in Telugu itself,
No,
just
no,
to
no.
avoid all the
I'm not
confusion. Yeah.
Telugu guy.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, no worries.
Let's
No.
put it in English. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, then I'm fine.
So people from Harsha training, so just send me on WhatsApp on the mentioned number in chat box. Okay. So that I'll share the recording to you on the course content also.
Okay, yeah.
థ్యాంక్ యూ అండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. యా బాయ్.
Also, can you suggest us like any certification programs if you
Yes. I'll suggest you everything. See, there are two things here. There is one thing like DP203 certification is there, which is expiring by, let me show you here,
next month?
which is expiring by next month. Then followed by you're having something like DP700 is coming. That is Microsoft Fabric.
Mm.
That is one thing that we need to focus, and I'll tell you the details in the next coming sessions. Okay.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you guys. See you. Bye.
So all this your students, so I'll talk to Seshu and I'll get your email ID. So we'll share the recording to you.
Yeah, okay. And also the course curriculum and everything.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So what you can know that what we gonna cover and what we are covering.
Yes.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, thank you.